Hey guys, another 5.3 video here for our textbook in our class, Chapter 5, Section 3. And we're going to work on how do I choose the best method. So we're kind of at a point where we've learned some algebra strategies to solve systems. And we have these different methods, and now it's going to be up to you to choose which one's the best one. Which is the most convenient, what's going to be the most easiest, what's going to get you to your solution. And so I have kind of some thoughts I was going to share on that, and we can organize in our notes. So the focus in the video is systems algebraically. So we're not talking about graphing, we're talking about algebraic strategies. And I'm going to build a table with 3 columns in it. So you're going to want to make a nice big table in your notes. In fact, I'm going to make it really big on the screen so we can see it. And we're going to go through the 3 types of methods that we've learned in some of these prior videos that you've watched, and we've practiced in class too. So the first one is one that we don't talk about as much. It's called the equal values method. So method number 1 is equal values method. And this is the one that could also be called substitution. You can kind of put it in both categories. This is when you get both your lines written in y equals mx plus b format. When they're both y equals mx plus b, you can use equal values very quickly to solve for the x and the y. It's where you put the 2 lines equal to each other, so hence the name equal values method. But the second method is the one that we spent a lot of time on, and that's the substitution method, a very handy method for algebra. I nickname it the bubble method, but substitution is when you're replacing a variable. And here's what you need to write down in your table. One of the lines has to have an isolated variable, and the other does not. So either x has to be isolated by itself in like an x equals equation, or y could be isolated by itself in a y equals equation. And if that's the case, substitution and bubble method is probably a great way to solve. And then we have our third way, the most newest way we've been practicing, and that's the elimination method. And elimination method is really great for when you have both of your equations in that icky standard form. So both lines do not have an isolated variable. There is no x equals or y equals. We're talking standard form instead for these. And so for the rest of the notes in this video, we're going to look at a couple examples and just kind of look at it and analyze it to decide which of these 3 methods is probably the best choice. So let's try an example 1 and give that a go. So here we go. We're going to solve this system. And our system problem is 2x plus y equals 15 and y equals x plus 3. So first off, we got to look at this problem. 2x plus y equals 15 and y equals x plus 3. Think of that table we just made in our notes. Is this equal values? Is it substitution bubble method? Or is it one of those elimination problems? Well, I see an isolated variable. Do you see it? The y equals x plus 3. So I'm thinking it's substitution. It looks like bubble method. So what method are we going to use? Substitution. Totally on this one. Since we have y all by itself in an isolated situation and y is equal to x plus 3, we're going to take the other equation and replace the y. So it won't be 2x plus y anymore. It'll be 2x plus x plus 3 equals 15, and we'll put our line down the middle and solve and use what we already know about substitution. Now the parenthesis is great, but I don't actually see any distributive property, so I'm going to drop the parenthesis and forget about it. And then what I'm going to do is move that 3 over, take it to the other side and do 15 take away 3. So I'll have 2x plus x, that's 3x, and 15 take away 3 is 12. I'll divide the 3 away, and we'll have our answer. 12 divided by 3 is 4, so x is equal to 4, but we got to solve for y. We cannot forget to solve for both variables. Such an easy mistake. So remember, y is equal to x plus 3? Well, now it's y is equal to 4 plus 3, and 4 plus 3 makes 7. So we got our solution. These 2 lines are going to cross at the point 4, 7 on the graph, and we solved it with bubble method with substitution, because we had an isolated variable. Okay, let's try another one. We'll change it up here. Example 2. How about this one? Same directions, solve this system. This time it's 2x minus 3y equals 10 and 12x minus 3y equals negative 15. The question is what method are we going to use? Is it equal values? Is it substitution? Or do you think it's elimination? What do you think? hope you're saying elimination. Look at it. It's all nicely vertically lined up. It's standard form and standard form. Totally an elimination problem. And I want to go to that old school addition and subtraction. I noticed that it's a negative 3y and a negative 3y. So I'm thinking, let's change all the signs. Let's take the 12 away, let's add the 3y, and let's add the 15. I'm going to change the signs on the bottom equation. That way, the negative 3 and the positive 3 will cancel out. So I'm going to cancel those out, I'm going to eliminate them, and then I'm going to do my math. 2x, take away 12x is a negative 10x, and 10 plus 15 is 25. So all we got to do is divide the negative 10 away. Now 25 divided by negative 10 is going to be a negative 2.5. It's a decimal. So I'm going to write x equals negative 2.5. But I got to solve for y. So let's go back and pick one of the equations. Either equation works, whichever one you want to use. I'm going to use the first one, 2x minus 3y equals 10. And then I'm going to replace my x with my negative 2.5. And if you need to use your calculator for this, you totally can. We just got to multiply 2 times negative 2.5, but that's negative 5. And we're going to solve this thing. Quick line down the middle. Let's add the 5 over, make it 10 plus 5 is 15. We have negative 3y equals 15. We'll divide that negative 3 away, and we'll get negative 5 for our answer. So we've got a point of intersect on the graph at negative 2.5 and negative 5. And honestly, the math part of this, we've probably got down by now. We've watched enough videos, we've practiced in class, but now it's about choosing the method. You need to be able to look at these problems and decide, is this elimination or substitution? And this one totally was an elimination problem. Just by the way it all lined up so perfectly, just kind of stands out to you. Okay, last example, example 3. What do you think about this one? Solve this system. Y equals x minus 2. Y equals 2x plus 6. What does this look like for all those 3 method choices that we had in our table? Well, look at it. They're both y equals mx plus b. Both of them have an isolated variable. Y equals. So I'm thinking, because of that isolated variable on both of them, we got equal values. This is the equal values method, which I like the equal values method because you just got to take the 2 lines and set them equal. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the x minus 2 and the 2x plus 6, put an equal sign in the middle, line down the middle, solve for x. Now I just go through my regular steps of solving. I'll get the x's together first. I'm going to take the x away to the other side and combine it. So 2x's, take the x away, would just be a 1x plus the 6, and then I still have a negative 2. I'll move that 6 over to the other side, and negative 2 minus 6 is a negative 8. So we're going to have negative 8 equals x. And we're practically done. We just got to solve for y. So I'm going to make a little space on the screen here. So I have space to solve for y. I'm going to take one of the equations from the beginning. I chose y equals x minus 2 because it looks simple. And I'm going to replace x with my answer of negative 8. And negative 8 minus 2 combined together is a negative 10. So we're going to get y equals negative 10 for our solution. So we got our answer. The lines are going to cross at negative 8 and negative 10. And that's our solution. All right, guys, so it's up to you now. After getting through this chapter, it's down to your decision making on which method you're going to use. Go for the one that makes the most sense. Look at the equations and decide, is this equal values? Is this elimination? Is this substitution? Which method is the best one to use? Okay, so to kind of sum it up, 3 methods of solving algebraically. We got the equal values, we just said that. We got the substitution bubble method, and we've got the elimination method. All 3 of them you want to feel like you're an expert at, and you want to feel comfortable to choose which one's the right one. Okay guys, thanks for watching the video, and I'll see you next time. Bye.